Hey, welcome to the Travel Winds podcast. Today, my guest is Ty Ferrell. You're going to start seeing Ty a lot this week on TV on your local Fox channel at the Farmer Wants a Wife show. He's one of the four lucky guys that gets to go out and start dating a whole bunch of women and see which one sticks, I guess. How you doing today, Ty?
Good. How are you doing, Peter? Thanks for having me.
I appreciate the time, bud. We were just talking off camera how busy you're going to be this coming week and then the subsequent 14 plus weeks or whatever. Y'all ready for it?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a wild time with everything moving forward. Going and promoting the show, doing interviews, doing podcasts like this one,
Uh-huh.
and when the show comes out, it's going to be a whole different level of the experience that I don't really think any of us farmers are quite ready for.
It's gonna be. I would like to see the behind the scenes camera on you guys watching the first premiere. You know what I mean? It's like,
That's You're right. You're right because it's a situation where the other three farmers, I've never really seen their place.
right.
They don't, we know each other, we know each other's stories, we know what goes on, we know what happens, but we've never just really laid eyes on each other's place. So it's going to be real interesting just to see their story unfold, in their hometowns.
Yeah, because you already know how yours turned out. Although it'd be interesting to see how it's put together for the 48 minutes or whatever it is. And you get
Correct.
a quarter of that, so you got, it could be a whole week of stuff in 12 minutes of your time. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's just kind of that TV magic. There's so many hours and days put into it, and then they can condense everything down into in just a little bit. And
Yeah.
you know, good thing is it's our stories.
It's gonna be, and I wonder, like the other farmers, like they're farmers. I consider you a rancher because you're cattle ranching. I don't know
Mhm.
that you grow much other than maybe hay, right?
Yeah, no, I've always just been on horses, been horseback.
Yeah.
I consider myself a cowboy, but it's the title cowboy kind of fits under farm,
Yeah.
ranch.
Yeah.
It's just a general broad blanket. And yeah, Mitchell, he's first generation farmer there, lives just outside of Nashville. Brandon, he's with potato, barley, and hay, and alfalfa hay. He farms all of that, and they have a pretty big operation out there in Colorado. And then you have Nathan, who's down in Florida, and he's got a citrus and cattle operation going on. So there's a good mix of all of us
Everything.
that fall under that farm and ranch.
And are you raising cattle for rodeos?
I've got a few, and I'll keep some heifers around, and then I have a bull, and what happens with them, happens. I'm not like trying to raise them to sell or do anything.
Yeah.
The cattle market, you can never tell where it's going to be. So to have a few come along each year to uh, have some fresh cattle to rope and practice on, and it makes a difference.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It's like, you know, how much traveling are you doing, as a rancher or farmer?
Well, when it comes like to rodeo, and I go kind of whenever I want or where I want. Just around here in Missouri, the options are limited.
Yeah.
So really, to go and experience the bigger ropings or rodeos, you usually have to travel a good ways. It just depends. There's usually a rodeo somewhere. It just depends
Always.
on
Yeah.
the type, kind, or the size that you want to go to.
And is it worth it? I would think like Oklahoma, you get Texas, some of the big North Texas you can get to, not too far from you, but
Yeah, I'm only about like really 8 hours from Dallas. Probably say 9 from Fort Worth.
yeah.
Um, you know, Centrally located for a lot of places, just far away from everything when it comes to rodeo world.
No, I know. I hear you. As you know, I have some friends in Missouri, and they travel the same boat. Uh,
Yeah.
how interesting is it for you to, you say it's about 8 hours to Dallas. That's if everything goes right. There's so many
Say
things.
what now?
That's if everything goes right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Everything goes right, it works.
Yeah. Versus what's the furthest? Have you been out to the West Coast for roping or?
I Roping wise, no. Really, the furthest west I've been was Vegas. A handful of years back, I went to the World Series of team roping out there. Traveled out with a buddy, and we stopped in Arizona, and then went to Vegas and roped out there. It was a great trip. We didn't win any money, but they usually try to go back, every year. Last couple of years, I've actually just gone to Florida. There's a big finals roping down there. It's NTRL roping, and it's warm. It's 10 hours away, and 10 hours is a lot easier by yourself than 24
Yeah.
out to Vegas.
Well, I mean, going to Vegas in December, you could hit some bad weather. You could hit a whole bunch of stuff on the way out.
There's a lot going on, and you never know.
Yeah,
it can change in a minute when it comes to the weather, especially out there.
Do you think with going forward with the show, is that something you talked about with the women? Like, hey, I travel here, I do this. I'm not just on this ranch, or
Well, when they come, when they're coming into the show, they know a little bit about me,
okay.
and so they're aware that I'm a team roper, and but
Yeah, but do they know what
just
that
of course
means?
let them kind of know what the daily is, what what it comes, what I do, what a team rope, and to travel, and that's the point of the show. Hopefully, to find somebody that
Yeah.
can understand it, and wants to be a part of it enough to where it can be appreciated and not uh, just something that's foreign.
Yeah, with the first season that came out, all four bachelors were I believe unmarried. One was divorced, but no children.
Mhm.
The other three farmers on your series don't have children. And you've
Right.
got your beautiful little girl.
Mhm.
That throws a wrinkle into it, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic for me compared to the other farmers.
Yeah.
Having my little girl, yeah, she's part of my story. She's part of my life, and same thing. The ladies know that I have a daughter. They're not blindsided by the fact that I do, and they get to meet her,
That's
and
cool.
she gets to hang out and have a little deciding factor as well.
Was she on board with it?
Absolutely, yeah. She was
Yeah.
completely excited with the experience and the fact that I may find somebody and that she got to kind of come along and enjoy the ride as well.
That's going to be pretty crazy to watch I wonder how it's going to be for her to watch the show,
Mhm.
seeing the things that
Yeah,
she didn't get to see.
yeah, yeah. Every once in a while, I'll send her some of the little clips or videos and everything that they put together, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool!" or "That's so exciting."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's really neat. It'll be something I'm glad that we can look back on in the future and think, wow, that was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah. Well, it's a good way to document
And
it,
not
right?
yeah, not many ways, not many times does somebody get a chance to have just any kind of daily life or daily experience documented in a
Yeah.
in a way like that.
On national TV.
Yeah, yeah,
That'll be out there
yeah.
forever.
There's the good and there's the bad to it. So, gee, the experience that that we had together, her and I, and then the experience for myself was a great thing. So
Yeah.
that definitely, hopefully, overweighs any kind of negative that may come out of it. Because somebody's always going to be that way, but that's what the world we live in today.
But at least with the first season, it's very dramatic for the farmers to break up and tell the women, especially in the last couple, it gets a little more personal and all that. So
Mhm.
I wonder how that's going
Yeah,
to be with your daughter.
it's it's just one of those things. It's yeah, she's aware of the situation and how it has to work. Just like myself,
Yeah.
she kind of gets attached, and um, it doesn't make it easy. It's never, you know, nothing good can come out of anything and just be completely easy. There's got to be a little difficult time. So you look
It's
back
the
and you're like,
drama.
ah, man, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just so you know, and I do this with all I used to when my daughters lived with me until they moved out. We used to watch the Bachelor show and all that, and we would take bets off the first episode. Like
Oh
we'd watch
yeah,
the premiere and say, "I think he's going to go with her," and then we'd make bets, and then we'd just go along with it.
gotcha. Well, if you've seen the Eight Ladies,
I
on
haven't. I gotta.
okay. I was gonna say, like, let's hear your bets right now.
No, I want to wait. I want to watch the first. I get to watch the first episode. And then
Okay, all right, I
because
got
personality, smile, kind of
you.
interactions. But then, like
Yeah,
I said, a lot of it's editing. It's like they're going to show something that maybe
yeah.
they want to.
I'd assume that everybody says the main question you get, oh, it's not real, is it? It's not real. It's like, no, everything that's recorded is real. It's a real experience. There's nothing people are like, oh, is it? It's scripted. No, absolutely not. Nothing's scripted. Um, there's not a possible way. I mean, we're not actors. We're just living our life, and just
Yeah.
happens to be in front of cameras.
So that'll be exciting. You know, for all my listeners that are just listening on the podcast or audio only, you should really watch the YouTube because then you get to see the photography that you do as well. I mean, it's pretty amazing to see the shots behind you.
Thanks, thanks. Yeah, it's something that I've kind of started doing really just because I had an iPhone and enjoyed taking pictures of my daughter. And of course, people were like, I'd post them and they'd say, oh, wow, you should be a photographer. You should be a photographer. And I was like, yeah, I really do enjoy it. It's kind of my artistic outlet. And then I bought a camera and realized, wow, there's a lot to it. So it took me a couple of years just playing around with it to then understand the camera, understand everything that goes into making a good picture. And I still have a lot to learn, but I do really enjoy it. And I enjoy taking that, to the rodeos and those events and um, just looking for a great shot.
You know, it's interesting, and I don't know if you've done this, but my show's called The Travel Winds, and it's about creating wins while you travel that are outside of like when you go to a roping and you're a healer. So if your header's having a bad day, you might not even get to throw the rope.
I just experienced that down in Florida. None of my headers really
Didn't
had a
know that.
very good day. And so it was a very expensive trail ride that I got to do.
But by having the camera and all that, you if you take some really good shots, at least when I take them, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see that when I get home and blow it up or
Mhm.
whatever. So been able to create wins outside of, for me, like I'm a traveling sales rep. So if I don't sell anything, I don't make any money, just like you, right? If you don't catch,
Mhm.
I'm the same
Yeah.
way. But I've tried to create things that are wins outside of that specific reason. That way I don't freak out if I don't make that much sales or if I.
Right. Yeah. And it is like I'll take my camera everywhere I go when I travel,
Yeah.
because that's kind of my genre, just the Western kind of rodeo events. And you're right. It's exactly what I did. At the end of the day, a few days ago, I got my camera out and tried to
Absolutely.
get a few shots and seeing if I could push myself in a creative way. And actually, it's been so busy I haven't even got to open up and download those pictures yet. But I'm excited to see them. I'm hoping I feel like I got some good ones anyways.
You'll see in about a month or two.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be it might be a few weeks. Although if you
Hmm.
get some downtime, you can just download them.
Correct.
Do you Photoshop them
Correct.
or put them in Photo Room or is it just
I download everything to Lightroom.
yeah?
Typically, I don't really use Photoshop. Every once in a while, if there's just a little something that's in the picture that's bugging me, but um, try to at least position myself in a way to where I'm getting a shot that it's just right out of camera and make a few adjustments and go from there.
I always try and because I take my camera with me when I travel as well. So like I'll try and I'll Photoshop out like the wires, or anything like that. So if I'm getting a real
Mhm.
rustic shot and I don't want a telephone pole or cell phone tower or whatever, I'll
Yeah,
Photoshop that out. But that's about it.
correct. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, sometimes you just can't avoid it, but it's part of the process.
There you go. Out of all the places you've been to, what's been the most influential? Whether it's for roping, for whatever.
I think one of my favorite places is Fort Worth,
Oh,
just for a couple of different reasons, personal reasons. But that city is cowboy, and it's not just cowboy, be on your horse, go to a rodeo type cowboy. The city in general, you can see people walking around there, business people, and they've got boots on, and they
yeah.
may have cowboy hats on, and it's just that experience of that town is different, a whole lot different than even Dallas. Dallas
Like two separate
is
cities.
a different animal, but Fort Worth, they embrace that Western and cowboy culture, and of course, in the surrounding areas just outside of there, it's cowboy country.
It's
But I
pretty good
think
film. Yeah.
there's definitely a part of me that's always loved Fort Worth and going there, and it's a different experience each time.
See, I haven't been there during the day because I
Mhm.
work during the day every day. So I've
Mhm.
been there at night a few times, and it's a different place at night, especially when
Mhm.
the rodeo's going on and the stock show. But and pretty crazy
Yeah. Yeah.
at night. But I want to see it during
Absolutely.
the day, and I only get to go to
Yeah.
Dallas in August and January for work. So it's
Mhm.
like it was negative. It was 10 degrees when I got there this year, and
Yeah.
last summer it was in the hundreds every day. So it's like
Yeah.
but I haven't been to
Getting the
that.
extremes.
Yeah, I need to go in like March, April.
Yeah, yeah. It's not bad there, as there's a couple roping events that actually last year went in March and then went back in April. And the weather was great.
Yeah, because they get to they don't do rodeos in the summertime there. A little too warm.
Yeah, it's too dang hot.
Yeah, they get up to Montana and
Hmm.
the mountain range. So
Sure.
so I'm just what's next? What's next for Ty Farrell
Just letting this show play out each week. It's on Fox at 9, 8 Central, and
on
this
Thursdays,
first
right?
yeah, this first one I'll be with a handful of the guys, and we'll watch it and probably give each other a little trouble on about everything that's going on, and that'll be fun to watch with them and actually hang out. Then after that, just you know, just doing life like our everyday deal, and sitting down and watching the show on Thursday nights.
So after because you said you're going to be busy the next 2 weeks. Are do you at some point? I'm assuming you're just going to be at home watching the show. Is-
Yeah, there's promotion that we do for the show,
Yeah.
and then with this opportunity, there's definitely the reason I did the show first and foremost was for the concept. I live in a small town. There's my age, and you take single ladies, and then maybe somebody that has something to do with horses, or appreciates that dynamic. Um, it's hard to really find anybody. So, and then it always seems if I've traveled, I might connect with somebody,
Okay.
and develop something. And it's like, I can't move to Sikeston, or it's too far away from this, or it's too far that. Well, that was the reason I did the show, because, the ladies, you know, we match kind of, I mean,
They
we
do.
choose each
Yeah.
other, and they know that, really if there's a connection, that's why they're living here, for the show, to see what it's all about, and them come here, and hopefully that makes the lasting relationship.
Sure.
But yeah, just beyond that, we're traveling and doing the stuff for the show, and but then, like I said, going back with the opportunity to put ourselves out there and see what may happen. You never know. It's a platform after the fact now.
Are you
um,
eh, eh, are you excited to see how the other farmers do as well?
oh yeah, yeah,
Because I
I'm
mean, like I
excited to
said, you
see.
know how you did, but now you're
Mhm.
like, oh, how'd that guy do, and how's he doing?
Yeah, ultimately, like, we know how everything
Yeah.
turned out for each of
Sure.
us, but the everyday stories, that's what we're all excited about. We're kind of a little bit like, what, we know what happened with ours. We don't know exactly, what's going to be on TV,
Yeah.
but we're more excited to watch everybody else's farms than we are to actually see ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Well, man, I'm excited. Maybe we can chat. What in the summertime when this is all done, and
Yeah, yeah,
we'll do a recap or something. That'd be cool.
for sure. It'll be great.
Get some rest.
Yep, it's gonna be a long ride.
Yeah, you can be on a whirlwind for a couple of weeks at least.
Absolutely.
And enjoy everything that comes with it. So,
All right, I appreciate that.
all right, bud. I'll talk to you
All
soon.
right,
Thanks, Ty.
thanks for having me.